Hey Danny, how you doing, man?
Hello. I couldn't think of an impression there.
You've got Henry Van Staten, you've got a Dalek, you've got
I know.
Christopher Eccleston going a bit crazy because he's having a fight with a Dalek. You've got loads of stuff. Go on,
I know.
do something.
It's 10. Oh, fine. Okay. What's that thing the Dalek says when that science mumbo jumbo happens and Rose touches it?
DNA extrapolation complete or something.
Oh yeah.
Genetic material extrapolated
Perfect.
initiated.
That was what I needed in my life. That was what I was hoping for this morning. I was sat there writing my notes as I watched this episode of Doctor Who thinking, oh, I can't wait for Danny's flawless impression of a Dalek. To be honest, he's going to put the voice actor that does Daleks out of business. That's what's going to happen next.
Do you know? Do you know what I'm gonna buy? I want to buy a ring modulator so that I can do that for every fucking episode that the Daleks are in. I mean, they cost about 500 quid, but let me tell you, it's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, when we get to... How many patrons would 500... Well, I suppose that depends how much they're patroning. But when we get to 1 million patrons, we'll buy Danny a voice modulator so he can be a Dalek.
Yeah. And Cybermen, because you can just turn it all the way up and then you get a Cyberman voice as well.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Dalek or a Cyberman. What would you do for that David Tennant episode that both of them are in?
I would reenact the bitchy, sassy argument that they have on the screen. But we'll
Daleks
get to that.
have no sense of elegance. This is evident.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like they trick him into like saying what they are. It's like, you will identify. It's like, no, you will identify yourself. It's like, no, you will. It's like, no, you will. It's like, you will modify to your this conversation. And it's like, Daleks don't take orders. And they're like, ha!
And the Cyberman goes, dickhead.
You're a Dalek, eh? And then they just go, well, the outline that you have resembles that inferior species, the Cybermen, eh, lads? Eh? Nah, mate, he tricked you, man. Fucking suck it up, man.
It's like that episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I won't tell you where my supply closet is in supply room F. Then Hitchcock goes over to him and goes, no, it's okay, buddy. They tricked you somehow. It's okay. Right, anyway, this episode of Doctor Who.
Yes, it was written by Robert Shearman, and it was directed by, what does that say?
Fucking hell. Mate, get better handwriting, Jesus.
Is that an H or a K? I don't know. Joe Akeen. We're going with Akeen, right?
Pretty sure it's a Hearn.
It's a Keen now, but no, if it's a Hearn or a Keen, I don't know. I'm keen to get it right, but is it a Hearn? No, that sounds actually quite familiar.
Yep, it's directed by Joe Ahern.
Joaquin, brilliant.
Joaquin Phoenix, yeah.
And it is starring Christopher Eccleston, Billy Piper, Nicholas Briggs, Bruno Langley.
Mate, you could just have this on your phone. You don't have to try and read it for your bad handwriting. You could just use your phone.
Corey Johnson Louise and Anna Plowman. Or Plowman.
Fucking hell. Well, we got through that somehow.
Yeah.
Have you got an opening statement, Dad?
I do, yeah. An impressive villain. Jesus Christ. I feel like illiterate Charlie from It's Always Sunny. An impressive return of a villain that had become much of a joke in the time that Doctor Who was off the air, but all the jokes stop after this episode.
I mean, you say that. When the Dalek gets to the bottom of the stairs and it's elevate, that is the fucking funniest thing I've ever seen. Oh. It's just like, right, I've got to find a way to make the Dalek scary again, because we've had all these jokes where people have said, well, you can just go upstairs. So I've got to find a way to make Daleks go upstairs. I've got it. He can fucking fly. Fantastic.
I mean, I think the Dalek was pretty fucking scary in this episode.
The Dalek was scary, yes. Just that one part I thought was sort of hilarious.
We'll get into it, don't you worry.
Indeed we will. Anyway, great world building on a great character, plus great performances all round. Great!
Was it great? Aye.
It was, aye.
Wait. Okay. So let's just jump into it. This is one of the best episodes of Doctor Who ever made.
Yeah, it sort of is.
Yeah. So
I think, yeah.
So we're done. Cheers.
Okay, thanks, guys, and
Closing
so we've got
statements.
some chilling to do then, have we, Dan? No, this is a really good episode of Doctor Who. It's I like how it reintroduces the concept of scariness of Doctor Who villains. That's looking back at like the old Who episodes. It's almost sort of pantomime.
Yeah.
The villains aren't very scary at all, but that was something
No.
I always admired about the Russell T Davies era, was that the villains were like just very scary.
Yep.
I mean, we all know I have problems with Moffat in general, but my one of my bugbears with him and his villains is that, yeah, the villains look scary, but they aren't that scary. If you close your eyes and just think about it, they're not that scary.
No.
Like, oh, the Silents have been running the things for generations. It's like, oh, well, so have corrupt governments. Who gives a shit? Do you know what I mean? When you start really going into
Yeah.
it, it becomes much less scary. But then, I know the Daleks are not like a creation of Russell T Davies, but the way he's written them in this episode, it's this sort of one Dalek is a hyper genius in a tank that will just go forever. It
Yeah.
cannot die. It will live forever. Who gives a shit? Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. You know, when Terry Nation sort of created the Daleks, they were schemers. They were sort of very intelligent, aggressive monsters that you know did stuff. And then as the show went on, they sort of became grunts. They just sort of became these sort of shouty things that just shot
Yeah, yeah.
everywhere and just went and just shot for like no reason. And they just became sort of grunts to Davros, who became the main villain for that sort of Dalek side of Doctor Who. But now the casing is buffed up. It actually looks like a tank now. It
Yeah.
looks like it's, you know, it doesn't look like some sort of plastic ridiculous thing. You know, that was scary back then for kids. But now
Yeah.
it looks as if it's like a fucking alien, you know, machine that just has the power to just destroy anything that comes near it. It doesn't shoot randomly anymore. It doesn't just scream and shout and just go and lose
It's
its
become
cool.
like a refined killing machine in a way.
Yeah, it shoots where it needs to shoot. It doesn't miss a shot.
I think that's the scariest part of the Dalek for me. Is this it's built for combat. It will never miss a shot. It
No.
cannot miss.
No.
And the whole, I mean, we talk about this a lot, but the whole it keeps coming. That whole thing, it's like
Yeah.
the Terminator. It's like the fact that you cannot kill the Dalek, it will keep coming. Even when it's dead, it might just resurrect itself because it's so indestructible. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. They got rid of the eye in the middle of the old 80s series, which I think when it was in the 60s and it was just a blank sort of unbiased sort of eye just staring, I think that was much scarier, and I'm glad that they just went completely blue, because it doesn't have a tail, it doesn't have a thing that you can sort of relate to. It's just this machine with a living, bubbling lump of hate in it.
Yeah, exactly. You're completely right. The fact that it's unblinking, keeps going. Do you know what I mean? That
Yeah.
said, I do like the organic eyes of the new sort of paradigm of Daleks that appear in Matt Smith's era.
Yeah.
I enjoy looking at the sort of squishy organic eyes. Although it doesn't make any sense, but I think aesthetically it's cool.
Yeah.
Like when you think, well, okay, well, is the rest of the Dalek still in the same place? And that's just like a
Yeah, and it's
sort
just
of a big old tentacle that's extended up the eye stalk. How does it? God knows.
yeah. We'll get to that. Don't you worry.
That's sort of our catchphrase for this Doctor Who's tied bit, isn't it? We'll get to that. Don't worry. Unless one of us ever mentions, oh yeah, Richard E. Grant did a film. Oh, we'll get to that. He was
Yeah.
in that episode with the snowman. It's fine. We'll get to it.
It's on the list. But as for the stairs, you know, through the entire time that Doctor Who was out, that's all that anyone was laughing at. It was like, oh, I remember the Daleks, remember them? They were great, weren't they? They were scary until you got to some fucking stairs, and then like, Eddie Izzard did bits on it and stuff like that, and it was, you know, but then especially for long-time fans of Doctor who have known the Daleks as just these shouty things, it must have been pretty fucking mesmerising to see. And the fact that Adam, the most pointless character in this story...
Oh, God, I don't like Adam. I don't like him in this. I don't like him in the next episode. He's just kind of shit.
No. And they're trying to fucking do this romance thing with Rose. I mean, that's just... he's an insufferable dick, okay?
Yes, I am a genius. Just get fucked.
Oh, fuck you! Why can't you have just a down-to-the-earth stupid guy? You know what I mean? Alright, I don't know my
I'd rather a
stuff.
bloke that's just a relentless moron. That's
Yeah.
what I'd like. Just like, for example, one of my favourite podcasts is Plumbing the Death Star. One of them is like, he sort of jokes about being this relentless moron whenever they talk about like a hypothetical situation. It's just like, I walk into the room, I've forgotten to put trousers on that morning, but I don't give a shit. And then it's just, I would prefer that character in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
A relentless dick. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, I'm an idiot, I don't know my stuff, but I'm quite nice. So, hiya, how you doing?
Exactly, yeah.
That's nice, it's a wee change. Rather than, I am a genius and I can't relate to human beings properly. Meh. We've got plenty of them.
Have we had a character in Doctor Who that's not proclaimed themselves as a genius, or at least particularly clever? Like Mickey, as much as people were like ragging on him for his entire big tenure on
Mickey's
the
clever.
show, he was clever, yeah.
He can fucking hack into the government and all that. He's a smart
Buffalo,
man.
it overrides everything. Does it?
Yeah,
Does it now? That's not a secure password to override everything.
Fucking Buffalo. What's that
That's all
password?
you need to launch a missile on London. The word Buffalo. What?
Surely the guy who made that password must be like pissing himself laughing. Like he's in his house going, fucking Buffalo. Maybe he was an agitator and he thought, I'm going to give them a really shit password so that some naughty little political terrorist comes in and launches missiles.
I have a question.
Lewis, moving strictly past that one before we get any deeper there, Daniel.
I just haven't got anything funny to say. Maybe it's like Ron Swanson's brother, Tom Swanson, who's like also a hardcore libertarian. It's like, I hate the government, therefore I'm going to make this password very easy to guess.
Yeah, whereas Ron is just sort of lazy. Tom is
Yes.
is militantly libertarian. I don't know how you can be militantly libertarian. Just
Well, Ton manages it, so that's all that matters.
yeah, good old Ton.
Aye. I've got a question.
Go on.
Did Rose do 2012 twice? This and the Fear Her episode with the Olympics in it?
Yeah, I mean, so maybe history changed in this episode
Maybe.
because obviously Henry Van Staten is just sort of flung out onto the streets. I don't
Right.
I don't
Surely
know.
Henry Van Staten is recognisable. Surely.
Yeah.
It's
And
like, would you know Jeff Bezos if you saw him in the street? Probably.
Yeah, and I mean, I like the fact that he gets his comeuppance at the end, but
Yeah.
let's sort of logically, this Diana Goddard sort of started today, and
Yeah. And she's overthrown him. How did she quite manage that?
yeah, what's the procedure there? How did she? Was it just a sort of, right, guys, this guy's a dick, let's just get rid of him?
Maybe they've not mind wiped, but mind implanted in Henry Van Staten the idea that he has been there. He is the owner of the internet, which is such an idiotic sentence. That he is the owner of the internet and all that, and so but he's only actually been there a week.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because he still has all his money. You know.
Yeah, that's true. They haven't frozen his bank accounts and transferred it to Diana Goddard.
No, because I don't know. I don't think they could do that.
No, I think that'd be a crime.
Yeah, but to be fair, no one knows about the base.
That's true, I suppose. Yeah.
So there's no sort of evidence that they did anything. But then she would be on his payroll, I imagine. I mean, it's a good. You know what? He does deserve it. And normally I would fucking pick it away, but yeah, he's a horrible guy, and I'm glad that he's now got his comeuppance.
I mean, you know me. I hate anything to do with this concept of like this oligarchy monopoly type thing. But
yeah.
it was the point at which I just lost all faith in him and lost all faith in his redemption or anything was the point where it was like, well, why sell the cure for the common cold when I could sell 1,000 palliatives? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, just fuck off.
That was quite early in the episode.
Yeah. The second he appeared on screen, I thought, God, this guy's a cunt.
Yeah.
And I just didn't look at him again.
And when Rose, her fake death happens, and it was like, it was the prize of my collection, and the Doctor just fucking loses it. It's like, even then, he still has like money and self-interest on the mind.
It's just disgusting.
Yeah, it's filth.
Jeff Bezos. Right, before we go down a Jeff Bezos, before we go down an I hate Jeff Bezos rant, let's quickly think of something else.
Yeah, back. I never got to do the elevate thing.
Oh yeah, go on. Talk about the elevate thing.
Yeah, so that piece of shit, useless character Adam is like, great big alien death machine defeated by a flight of stairs, and then. I mean, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, and then the Dalek just looks at me and goes, "Bitch, please," and just starts floating, and his stupid genius fucking face is shut up forever, and they run, and that's a great scene because
yes,
yeah,
I like the fact that it's like sort of a self-contained solution. Like if the Dalek had sprouted like 8 legs like a spider and walked up the stairs that way, I'd have gone, oh, for fuck's sake. But the fact that it's like a self-contained thing, it's like, oh, well, it's within the force field or whatever. It's like, I like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, it sort of fits because the Daleks, they're not going to say, oh, what's underneath a Dalek? They're not going to go, well, wheels in canon. It's got to be some sort of suspended... You know,
got the image of like a parade of Daleks or something, and one of them's their wheels is squeaking.
Yeah,
so it's like they have to tip him over onto his side, and another one gets his sucker and like gets a little can of oil, oils his wheel, and props him up again. There you go, Terry. Does that work for you? Yeah, that's great, mate. Cheers. And he's like just rolling back and forth to oil up his wheel, and then they can carry on without being impeded by the squeaking.
You know Anne Robinson from The Weakest Link.
I do.
You know how she always has like a wee quip before like they decide who the weakest link is? They did a Doctor Who episode where like David Tennant was on it and Camille Kaduri, who plays Jackie, and Captain Jack was on it and Mickey was on it. And I think one of the quotes before who was getting voted out, she's like, "Which Dalek's got a wonky wheel?" So there you go. So you're not the first person to make that joke, Lewis. I just thought I'd tear that originality away from you. Anne Robinson beat you to it.
Oh, goddamn, Anne Robinson, my mortal enemy. Everything I do, she is my mortal enemy. Everything I do, she's done it better and before I have. Honestly. Right. I have something I remembered from when I was a kid. Right.
Right.
When I was a kid, I used to get loads of books about Doctor Who. I still have them somewhere in the house, probably, knowing me. I hate throwing books out. But I remember reading something about how, you know that there's this slow motion shot in this episode where the bullets impact on the force field and just vaporize and disappear.
Yeah. I
remember reading somewhere that the Dalek takes that steel or whatever and then enhances its own armor with it.
Yeah, I mean...
I can believe. I just thought that was it adds to the self... What's the word? Self-sustainability. It doesn't need anything.
No.
It just keeps going forever.
I mean, that would be pretty cool. I mean, I don't know how you would really show that. You know?
No idea.
Because it would be a bit unnatural for the Dalek to then just stop and turn to the camera and say, by the way, these bullets enhance my casing, in case you were wondering. Lewis
By the
Brindley.
way, I'm now 1/10 of an inch thicker, because of all those bullets they just shot at me.
And maybe it's like carbs. Maybe he has too many bullets and he just like sizes up. You know, it's just like, God, I need to stop eating these bullets.
The image of like a Dalek eating bullets like you would chips or something. Just like salt and pepper on them, and it's like, much better.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but could be. Do you know what I like? I like the fact that they make the Dalek an actual character. It would be just enough to have this relentless killing machine that eventually does just get stopped, but instead they do some science mumbo jumbo, and it absorbs Rose's DNA and starts to feel other emotions other than hate. And fucking hell, Nicholas Briggs, the voice of the Daleks in this episode and every episode going forward in Doctor Who, is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, he's really fucking good.
Like, really, oh my god, like, the fact that he can do so many things with his voice. He does the Cybermen as well, I'll have you know.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Wow.
But just the emotional range for this shouty thing, it's pretty amazing. And you forget that the Dalek has been like tortured for ages, and now that this machine creature now has its sort of emotions back, or not back, given to it, it's hurt by what Van Staten did to it, and you can hear that in its voice when it confronts him. It's like, you tortured me, what? Why? You know, it's like, that's a very human response, and coupled with its anger, it's like, I'm just gonna kill you. And the exterminates in that scene are like the best I think I've ever heard in Doctor Who. They're so guttural and so painful, which is just amazing, to be honest. So yeah,
you're right. I have a question, which is just due to my own forgetfulness more than anything else.
Yep.
Where do the next Daleks come from? Because this Dalek is meant to be the last in its species, and then it destroys itself. Where do the next ones come from? Do they teleport out of the Time War or some kind of bollocks like that?
Yeah, well, it's the Emperor that survived the Time War, and they say, and the Emperor says, my ship survived. So yeah, I'm here.
So have that, Doctor. Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, and then there's other Daleks that have also survived. They do that quite well. They survive an awful lot.
Because I was watching this with Chloe, and the Dalek said, "Oh, I am the last of my kind," or something, and Chloe went, "Yeah, but where do all the other ones keep coming from? There are always going to be more. Come on now."
Yeah, it's like, no, you're not, you dickhead.
There's loads of them. Yeah, fuck.
See, technically, the Time War is still going on then, isn't it?
Yeah.
So like, it's just endless now. It's just like, even though, because this Dalek's dead, it's like, oh no, it's not. There's loads still. And where we are now in Doctor Who, the Daleks sort of no idea that there's a fleet now. Scarrow's back. It's just, there's loads of shit. Loads
in
of
present day Doctor Who, I'd completely forgotten. What the fuck's going on in present day Doctor Who with the Daleks? I'd forgotten.
Well, the resolution episode.
Fuck yeah! I'd kind of wiped that from my mind. Yeah.
the reconnaissance Dalek was like, you will take me to the Dalek fleet, in that episode with Peter Capaldi, and
right.
And Missy and Clara, they were on Scarrow, and the city blew up. But I don't know how.
Yes.
But they survived somehow. I don't know. They always survive. Just assume that they're always there.
Yeah, I mean, frustrating as it is that the writers are a little too lazy from time to time to just sort of think, okay, well, this is how they did it. They are little indestructible pepper pots. They will last forever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they really are. And then we get to where the Dalek is sort of more emotionally evolved enough to want something other than killing. And Rose takes the Dalek outside, and then you finally see what's inside the casing. And
yeah,
you never, in the old Doctor Who, you never really got a sort of clear view of what it was. You got like green sort of sludge and green sort of tentacles and stuff like that, and a hand here and there. But like, to see it fully in this, it's almost sort of, it's pitiful.
Yeah, it is.
You know, I want to read you an extract from a review of this episode.
Okay, hang on. Let me just recline and put my feet up.
Right, okay.
Okay. Okay, hit me.
And it's in reference to when the reviewer saw the Dalek. Trapped in a cold metal cage from birth to death, blinded by hatred, sterile, unthinking of anything but disgust for all those who aren't as stunted as it, robbed of the ability to grow and destined to stagnate for all eternity, driven mad by the freedom almost every other thinking species in the universe takes for granted. The only thing worse than facing the Daleks is being a Dalek.
Okay, I've sat back up and taken my feet off the ottoman now. Yes, yeah, that is a fantastic point. The only thing worse than coming up against the Daleks is being one.
Yeah.
Because it's this unquenchable hatred, which is, of course, it's something that's never really been addressed in Doctor Who, but, like, I thought they were going to a bit when they introduced that new paradigm of Daleks, but of course they fucking didn't.
Yeah.
So, but it's like, yeah, they are constantly driven by hatred. Even when their mission, as it were, is over, if they did successfully exterminate all life in the universe, other than Daleks, what then? Like, they're going to settle down and build a little shack and...
No.
Was it Thanos did at the start of Endgame? He was like farming space pumpkins or something. Are they going to do that? Are they going to farm space pumpkins with Thanos?
No, I mean, as nice as that sounds, what would inevitably happen? What would be is that some Daleks would be not as pure as others, and then a civil war would break out, and they would continue fighting because they had a couple of decimals of cells out of place, and then there would only be one left, and that's how it would end.
That's what gets me about both the Daleks, but also with oh god, what was it? Was it that episode, the Zygon invasion or the Zygon inversion, or whatever it was? It's like when Peter Capaldi's doing that speech, and he's just sort of saying like, yeah, but like, what after the revolution, after the glorious revolution, what then? Who's gonna make your violins? Who's gonna make your food? Who's gonna?
Yeah.
And the Daleks have no end game. It's just hatred forever.
Yeah.
It's like the horror of, say, Galactus from the Fantastic Four comic books is like, he will always be hungry. It doesn't matter how much he eats, how much energy he consumes, he will always be hungry. He will always be looking for his next meal.
Yeah, and it's so pointless.
Yeah.
It's such a point. They're not looking to build anything or create anything. They just want to kill everyone else.
Yeah.
And they're so... If they didn't sort of want to kill everyone, you would just feel sorry for them, because look at them. They can barely move, they can barely speak properly, and they just go around in these little tanks and just shoot people. I mean, it's fucking horrible. And if that wasn't enough, Robert Shearman then one-ups are sort of, oh my god, that's horrible, look at that thing. And the Dalek would rather die than mutate and change into something else.
Yeah.
And while, the instinct is to feel sorry for this thing, what that would be the equivalent of would be if, like, a Nazi needed a blood transfusion and the only person to do it was a Jewish person, and they say, no, I would rather die. So it's like, we shouldn't feel too much sympathy for this thing.
Yeah.
Because it would rather end its own life and its own species than take the help of something that it deems inferior, which is... It balances this sort of, I feel sorry for it because it's a stunted sort of little squid, but at the same time, it hates everything and everyone.
Yeah,
so
it is a space Nazi. You shouldn't really feel sorry for it, do you know what I mean?
No. So, I mean, fucking great writing, to be honest.
Oh god, yeah, definitely. Well, Cocker, I think I might be out of notes.
Yep, I believe I am as well.
Excellent. Have you got a closing statement then?
I do, yes. A prelude to the destruction to come. One Dalek killed 200 people and it was damaged beyond repair. Just wait and see how many more are to fall in future episodes.
Indeed, they're like the red shirts. This is a great Dalek ep, though it has been overwritten enough times that it leaves an oddly bitter taste in your mouth. As a standalone episode, though, love it.
Yep, definitely. So that was Dalek.
Indeed it was, Dalek. I believe we have some shilling to do, as we always do.
Oh yes. I'll if only Henry Van Staten was here to do it for us. He would love it. I mean,
Maybe
cheer him
he's
up.
here. Maybe he's just walking into your room right now. Maybe he's gonna take over on the microphone.
I'm not seeing him. I know you were doing
okay.
I know you were doing a bit there, but how am I? What am I supposed to do with that, Lewis? Am I supposed to become Henry Van Staten?
Yes, you are.
All right,
Do
okay.
an impression.
Hello, I'm Henry Van Staten, and I'm no longer a homeless junkie, and I'm here to do a podcast
With this weirdo from the Midlands.
with this stranger in Scotland.
Fantastic.
Great,
Well,
great.
thank you for your time, Mr. Van Staten.
Yeah.
We have some
Bit-
shilling to do.
Bit pulled off 100% there. Okay,
Nailed it,
I'm on
yeah.
Instagram. I'm on Instagram at Hiram. I'm on Facebook at Daniel K Actor. I'm on Twitter at Kerzo2000. What are you on, Lewis?
I am on Instagram at Lewis_Brindley. My Twitter is at LewisBrindley4. And I have a Facebook page called Lewis Brindley.
Handy.
Yes, I mean, ensures I always remember it.
Definitely. We are on Podomatic. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. We have a YouTube channel. We're on Deezer. We are on Google Podcasts. We're on Amazon Podcasts.
Ooh, I don't know if we actually are.
We're not
I
an
had an
Amazon
email off them.
Podcasts.
We might be on Amazon Podcasts. I genuinely have no idea whether we are, and I have no idea how to tell. Because I had an email from them that said, we need you to verify that you're a human being with a podcast. So I did like a capture, and I put in our RSS feed and all this. So we might be on there by now. It said 1 to 6 weeks, or something like that. So we might be on Amazon Podcasts.
We are-
Who fucking knows?
we
We've
are-
been approved.
Yeah.
We might be there. We don't know.
Have a look. Treat yourself.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
If you can find it, fucking great, because I can't. I don't know where to look.
Yeah. We have a PayPal donate button. We're on Patreon, and let us just thank our wonderful, wonderful patrons.
Indeed.
Chloe, Darius, Sophie, Peter, Aditya, and Richard. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, one and all. You make the podcast possible. We've got a lovely little community on the Discord. It is absolutely wonderful. Thank you, every single one of you.
Definitely. We also have merch. We sell mugs, we sell jumpers, we sell t-shirts, we sell tote bags, we sell stickers, we sell all sorts of shit.
Yeah, an incalculable number of items.
Yeah.
It's like how that Dalek, the lock on that door had a billion combinations. That's how many items we sell.
It can calculate 1,000 billion combinations under 1 second flat. It takes about 10 seconds to fucking get it. It's like,
Yeah, Christopher Eccleston.
stop bigging up your arch enemy only for it to fail.
Stop being a terrible hype man, Christopher Eccleston. Come on.
Come on, Dalek, you can get that fucking lock, mate. Come on. And the dad's like, give me a minute, give me a minute.
It's like if Christopher Eccleston was your wingman, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you can do a backflip," and he looks across at you, and you're just stood there going, "No, I fucking can't." That's exactly what it's like.
That is exactly who Christopher Eccleston is. He's that pal that bullshits so much that he gets you into shit. It's like, yeah, that Dalek can fucking kill everyone on Earth just on its own. And the Dalek sort of comes on the screen. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? What?
I've got a sunlight allergy, you dickhead.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, but you'll find our merch on... Jesus Christ, we jumped from fucking merch to talking about Christopher Eccleston being a hype man. You'll find them on Teespring and Redbubble, so have a wee look and treat yourself.
Indeed, the links will be in the description or wherever. They'll be somewhere.
Yeah, have a look.
Have a look. Treat yourself.
And
Go
last but what?
I said, have a look. Treat yourself. Go crazy.
And last but certainly not least, we are partnered with a fantastic company called Number 12 Crochet Avenue, and Lewis has a small speech prepared for this one.
Yes, I do. I prepare one every week. I write it on my typewriter.
Yep.
It gets notarized by the Queen. No.
Lewis has got an amazing speech for this one. Shut up, Christopher Eccleston, you dick.
Shut up, Christopher Eccleston. You were in the worst Thor film. I say this, Christopher Eccleston is a far superior actor to me. If I ever met him, this would all go out the window. I'd be like, oh, great to meet you, big fan of your work, thanks.
I mean,
but you know,
to be fair, the Thor: The Dark World is shit. Just so you all know.
Yeah, it's not great.
No.
But anyway, Number 12 Crochet Avenue is a business run by my amazing wife. She crochets and she's dead good at it. Her Instagram is at Number 12 Crochet Avenue. It's just the words, there's no numbers in there, so go and check it out. The Instagram is absolutely beautiful and she takes commissions. She does absolutely amazing work. It's really worth a look, so go and check it out. She's just gotten back into it actually. We had a box come through the door that was like this crochet subscription box that she opened and really liked it, and now she's getting back into it a lot more, and she's making this really nice scarf at the minute. So go and check out the Instagram for bits and bobs of crochet stuff. It's really pretty. Even if you're not into crochet, even if you're not going to buy anything, go and check it out because it's absolutely beautiful. The Instagram is. It is, as I say every week, mwah, it's chef's kiss. That's exactly what it is.
Definitely. Well, that's us.
That is indeed us. That's my favourite part, is how we do all the shilling. It's almost like because we do it every week, we're quite well oiled at it now.
Yeah.
And now it's like okay, so that's done.
Yeah.
What now?
Have a cup of
And we're
tea
just-
now.
It's like we're both looking around. We're like, what's happening now?
What to do?
Have a
What to
biscuit. How do I end the podcast? What do I do? So yes, but yeah, thank you very much for listening. Next week we'll be back. We're talking about Doctor Who 107 with what's it called? Platform something or other.
Simon Pegg. It's called the
Simon Pegg's
called
in
The Long
a
Game.
freezer.
Yeah, I believe
Simon
it's called
Pegg
the
in a
Long
freezer.
Game.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
See if I had a time machine, Lewis, I'd want to go back in time to before Thor: The Dark World started, and go to Christopher Eccleston's house and just type him up and go, "You're gonna make the best Thor film ever made, mate," and then watch him fail.
Yeah, perfect. I see no flaws with that. Yeah. Anyway, have a wonderful week. Enjoy. I don't know, whatever you're doing today. Drink some water. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Bye.